Hello and welcome to #Showcase Sunday with AJ Lates Consultancy and Training. And the Showcase Sunday is here to help and support businesses from all over the UK to actually revive, thrive, survive and move forward. And this week's Showcase Sunday, we have the amazing Lisa Brady from Perfect Recruitment. We're going to be talking about the staffing crisis currently, but also about what the top tips are and what we're going to be doing moving forward to help and support the hospitality and tourism industry. So over to you, Lisa. Would you like to introduce yourself, what you do, who you are, and why you do it?
Well, thank you for the amazing introduction. I hope I live up to that. Thank you. I'm Lisa from Perfect Recruitment. We're a catering hospitality agency and we've been running for 16 years now. We're all very, very passionate about the catering hospitality industry. We're all hospitality managers within the team. You know, it's a great passion of ours and we love working within this sector. We're based in Chorley, but we do cover the whole of the UK. And in fact, we've had lots of bookings this morning rang for London. So we're even reaching the south these days, which is fantastic.
Fantastic. And what is unique and different about you? Because there's a lot of recruitment agents out there, recruitment businesses helping and supporting different niche markets. You know, yours is, you've got an array of niche markets, and obviously the hospitality and tourism industry. What makes you unique and different to everybody else, Lisa?
I think I've been obviously trading so long, and you get a lot of smaller agencies thinking that they can do it and start up, but then fall by the wayside. But we've been, you know, a steady ship all the way through. I mean, it took 5 years for us to actually get off the starter block and grow. But most of the clients that I have are repeat trade, big repeat trade. And we've loved working with those guys over the years, and they always seem to come back to us. Plus the fact we do work with individuals for their individual budgets, and we try and help out where we can, even if people don't have a budget for us. You know, we'll point them in one direction or the other, or we'll advertise the jobs for them. I think we're just very approachable.
Brilliant. And that's key, isn't it? And it's approachable both on a level where you're speaking to managers, owners, departmental managers, etc. And you're also approachable on a employee basis.
Yes. Yeah.
And you cover both temp staff as well as full.
Yeah, I mean, we used to run on a huge team of up to 80 temporary staff, majority of those being chefs. And I'm proud to say, you know, some of my core team have been with me for 16 years. You know, the Duncans of this world, and you know, he's been with me from day one. So I've got a great team that, you know, they may get a permanent position for a couple of years, but they always come back. You know, they always know that I'm there and I'll be there to help out wherever I can.
Wow. And that's testament to you, really, isn't it?
Well, I hope so. And I hope they've always enjoyed working for us, and I hope we've done things the right way. We've tried to put in things like Chef of the Month, you know, Christmas awards. We've done beer runs for the chefs rather than the clients. And we tried to be a little bit different, rather than go out and give the clients boxes of chocolates. You know, without these chefs, these guys, we couldn't fill those bookings. So I always felt that I should be giving them the rewards, not the clients, because I've always felt that, you know, somewhere, they are our business. They represent me.
Definitely, they're your name on the tin, aren't they? Really, when they're working in different environments, and this is the key. And right now, the hospitality industry is probably already had the kicking of the life, and now we're having a massive crisis that's massively hit since reopening, and probably before that in a number of organisations. And it's very relevant right now. We've got a staffing crisis. We've got, I'm hearing all the time, you know, there was somebody just in Kendal the other day saying we love offering food. However, we're going to have to stop right now because we don't have any chefs available to actually prepare, cook and serve. And that's not just the one. The amount of businesses all over the UK at the moment who are really struggling to action their own operations is crazy. It's the highest it's probably ever been in the industry, and I really worry about businesses because we've already gone through such a grieving process or change management, the Kubler-Ross curve I use when I work with clients. But we've been through all that, and then we've reopened to an abundance of people, guests, customers coming through the door with the money, and then we have to stop certain facilities or services because we can't actually cater for that. What do you think about it, Lisa?
We've found it very tough. I mean, a lot of all of our main guys are out, and they are helping where they can, doing an extra shift here if they're a day off. But it's heartbreaking that some clients, some really great clients that we've worked with for years, have said, Lisa, if you don't get me any chefs this weekend, I can't open my kitchen. We just can't magic these people up, unfortunately. We are doing our best. We're interviewing, we've done so much to try and get staff through the door. But it's not only temporary staff. We have probably more permanent positions currently than we ever have.
Wow. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. And what do you think the reason is from all this, Lisa? Because I know I've got my own opinions on this, which I'll mention shortly. But there's something's got to give, and we've got to find a way forward. Because as I now say, I work in America as well, and where focus goes, energy flows. And if we focus on the negatives, that's all we'll ever see. Whereas if we focus on, okay, what can we do rather than what we can't do, then we're more likely to find an answer. So what would you say, in your opinion, what would be the reason behind this current crisis, do you think, Lisa?
I'd sadly say that over the years, I've watched people or businesses take, especially chefs, and that's where our main shortage is. They've paid them a salary and worked them a 70-hour week, and then that salary is diluted to less than minimum wage. And I've seen it time and time again. And the split shifts, we can't be looking at split shifts these months. We have to look beyond that. So why would anybody want to work split shifts, be paid less than minimum wage, and every weekend have to work, and evenings and weekends? We need to be thinking outside the box and making this a work-life balance, because we've flogged these people for years, and the worm has turned.
Yeah, and I think, and it's not just the chefs that's the current crisis. I'm being asked by a number of different organisations. Do I know reception teams? Do I know waiting on teams? Do I know housekeeping? The gardening, they're going to different, instead of having a gardener now, they're actually outsourcing the services, and maintenance. There's across the board, and it's fascinating. But I also remember in lockdown 1, when I was hearing stories of people being made redundant, from sales and marketing, and I thought, whoa, that's a crazy decision to make. Sales and marketing team, because they're the ones who will bring you back to life in the future, and hearing people being let go of all levels, from all the way from top level all the way down to and I don't like saying that, because it's all levels. It doesn't matter what level you're at, but management and team members, your frontline team. And now we've got this staffing crisis, and I think yes, we've got it in chefs, but we've got it across the board. And I agree, the hours weren't the best for many. I mean, I knew no different. When I was working in the hospitality industry, my average week was about 90 hours a week. And it was only when I went to a meeting to showcase the hospitality industry that I was surrounded by other industries that they said, so how many hours do you work? I'm showcasing it to all the students that I was trying to get to attract into the industry? I said, oh, 90. And everybody, the room fell silent. And it was as though a pin, you could hear a pin drop, and everybody went, did she just say 90? And I said, is that wrong? I had no idea, because I'd been doing it since I was 13. So I had no idea. But you're right. Lockdown one, I think, really opened a can of worms, because people then realised, I've got time off. I actually quite like being with my family, and I like enjoying quality time. And I think that's one element. And we do have to change as an industry. But it's not all one-sided. I think it's across both sides, because there are some great employers out there who have been remarkable, helping not just the teams but the families as well, and everybody around them, ensuring that if they were struggling on 80% of their salary, that they would create a fund to help them, which has been incredible. And yet I wonder how many businesses who are currently looking for staff, how many of them have kept in touch all the way through the lockdowns? Because I get it, as an owner of the business or as a manager who's continued to work through, you have been working crazy hours to cope and survive, and you've not been paid for being at home, which is like a them and us scenario. Yeah. But you've got to understand both sides. And I think we're lucky, Lisa, because we're in the middle, aren't we, really? We're in the middle of, the employees and the owners and managers. And it is interesting to know what do you think? What do you feel you're attracting more people to the industry?
We're trying to think outside the box the best we can with any kind of ideas to attract people to ourselves. We've got press releases. We're doing a lot of work with the schools and colleges, which we've always historically done, but we're pushing that further. And to be perfectly honest, we've made at least 4 placements for people straight from college. We've worked with the course tutor, we've got them the work experience, and we've placed them. And people, again, are going to have to know, I want experienced staff. Well, there isn't experienced staff. Invest in these people and they'll stay with you for years, because it's the beginning of their career. And at the beginning of your career, you tend to stay, if somebody treats you right. So yeah, we've got one client especially who has latched onto this and said, send me as many as you've got, because these are great.
I love that. And they're more likely to keep them forever.
Let's hope so. Yes.
Yeah. And it's a tough world out there, but I know so many employees have now become different, gone into different careers.
Yeah.
So what would you recommend if somebody's watching now thinking, well, that's all right, you're saying that we can attract them, but what should we do? What should we do?
Well, when I do a client visit, I always ask, what differentiates you from next door? Because they're recruiting exactly the same staff. So, list down what's your unique selling points. Do you do laundry uniforms? Do you offer meals on duty? Do you have a discount code for staff that eat there? Do you have a gym? Can they use the gym? Pile as many different things that will sell your vacancy, because next door will if you won't. And at the moment, these guys can walk in one job, be spoken to dreadfully, and walk out and walk into next door. So you've got to really be personable, friendly, and support the team that you've got.
Definitely, and communicate and listen to them. You can always tell. And we were speaking about 3 weeks ago on the Showcase Sunday about mental health and well-being. How many people, and I say this quite regularly, when I went off on my first maternity leave, one of the best advices I got was join as many groups as possible, because I'd been surrounded by people for 25 years at the time, and going away from a work environment where you're surrounded by people and you're there to serve, there to be hospitable and be, I always used to say it's be like being sociable. You're paid to be sociable, and you're taken out of that environment to then being on your own. And that's what lockdown has done to so many employees. And that must have had a negative impact, because it's massive when you suddenly, you know, you've been with lots of people to suddenly being on your own. You know, that'll have been the game changer for so many people, you know, to go and try new careers and to get into different employment lines. So what, you know, when you look at unique and different, I think it's important that the communication levels, but also the support element, you're right, and mental health and well-being. Actually, would you agree to actually train them before they come into the workplace, so that they are not in fear? Because how many people are frightened of going back to work now?
Absolutely, yeah, yes. Because they've had so long off, they've just got used to their own company and their own little world, and they've had so much time off. You know, it's not straight in, and that's what's happened. We've opened the doors, everybody's flooded in, and everybody's expected to run. You know, here with my own team, we were phased back in very, very slowly, and we've been phasing back in for months. Before, we only started back fully in the office a couple of weeks ago, because they have had that phase and work from home, and now they're allowed to work from home if that's what they want, or they can come in the office, or they can go to Starbucks and interview people over the road. So, you know, you've got to just give a little bit more.
And that's what's probably kept all your team in employment,
right,
really.
Definitely, yes,
yeah. And I think that's the key of phase return is absolutely critical. Training and development, but communicating and finding out how they're getting on. So if you were obviously if you had an employer who was just desperate now, what would be your top tips anyway for working with you, but also right now, what would be your top 5 tips to help and support the hospitality industry to get back on the feet with recruitment?
I think you've got to look at what you've got to offer. That's got to be first. You know, what can you do more to highlight your specific hotel, bar, or restaurant, just to see what you can do differently and offer to the staff, but also be flexible with hours. And if you can get rid of the split shifts or shifts altogether, then try that and give it a go. I think you've got to look outside the box. You know, speak to your milkman, speak to the veg man. You know, they'll be aware of other people that aren't being treated correctly, because they all sit outside and have a chat, have a conversation. And, you know, if you know of anybody that's looking, please pass us along. That's what we're doing. We're trying to work with a lot of suppliers out there, that they pass people over to us if they know that they're actually looking for work. Speak to your local agency. You know, unfortunately, people are going to have to pay agency fees now, because we are all fishing from the same pond, but some of us might get there quicker.
Brilliant. Yeah, and that is key, isn't it? It's the speed, but also somebody said to me the other day that we're interviewing the same people, and it's like they're going on a circular rota of which place they're going to next, and they are being picky, because you can be right now.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think as well, getting recommendations, getting your team to recommend to their friends and family of who you know should work with you. But I think the main thing that, and it's something I'm incredibly passionate about, and it's one of my main missions as AJ Lakes, is to make hospitality one of the leading careers in the UK. Because my frustration, and it is a large frustration of mine, is that anywhere else I work in the world, it's a career.
Yes.
It's a profession. And you go through training, development, you are the top end of top echelon of society, because you work in hospitality. However, in our own country, in the UK, we find that it's not felt the same way. And I find that incredibly frustrating, because the one thing I notice when I ever go to schools, colleges, universities talking about hospitality is that the people who are in hospitality, who've already had a part-time job, they have great eye contact, great social skills, and that's just the basics. The confidence, and all these elements become as a natural progression in your work environment. But the one thing I've noticed in my line of work now is I can actually work in any industry in the world. Why? Because the bases I got in hospitality allow me to do that. I can literally transfer all my skills, knowledge, and experience in any industry, in any place in the world. But you gain so much more, and we don't celebrate that enough in hospitality. And
Not at all.
to know why we don't do that. You know, I know all about sales and marketing. I was the general manager. I know about budgeting. I train it all now. Through cost control, I actually cook. I can do it all because that's what I did for 30 odd years. And I think, how do we get those people who are wanting to, the golden nuggets of the you know, society, who want to come in and be hospitable, because that's the main ingredient, isn't it? You know, and who want to come into the industry and actually do that. I guess selling the story, maybe.
Yeah, definitely. But it's you know, I think the schools do try, but basically it's either a waiting on or a chef. I don't think they sell all the different aspects of what hospitality can do. Your wedding planners, your sales and marketing, your general manager, operations manager, you know, maintenance manager, there's housekeeping. There's so many different careers that it would allow you. You know, travel opens doors for cruise ships, you know, flight attendant. It opens so many more doors. And I do think I try with the schools that I work with to try and push that this, you know, it opens so many more doors for you. It's not just being a chef or a waitress.
Yeah, and you can work in all areas. So when you work with skills, how do you, if somebody was watching now saying, well, that's great, you've got a connection with school, but who am I and how am I be able to do that? How would you suggest, Lisa, that they could connect with the local schools and colleges and universities to attract people?
Well, there's an absolutely great scheme in the Lancashire area, and I'm an enterprise advisor for Parklands High School. So I work very, very closely with the department that finds people jobs, apprenticeships, or, you know, going on to college, and any sort of advice and helping out, or they do mock interviews. We will go down and work with them, so they get a feel of, you know, I've been in catering hospitality. That's where I started. I'm now running my own business in recruitment and have been for 15 years. So, you know, that's another door. It's, you know, catering and hospitality recruitment. It's not just a one shop. But yeah, work with your local schools and try and get in touch with the enterprise advisors, because they're always looking for people to support the schools in the Northwest area.
I love that. Yeah, it's very important, and that's throughout the whole country. There's local enterprise partnerships in every area of the country who are funded to be able to do this and get into open the doors to the right people, aren't they?
Yeah, you've got to give a little bit back.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to give something back, and, you know, at the end of the day, we will only grow with the next few generations, and if they know who you are and you've supported them, then they're more likely to contact you in the future.
Definitely, brilliant. And if someone was sat here now thinking, okay, I'm going to phone Perfect Recruitment because I've got a staffing issue, and obviously right now we know they're a bit pressured because we haven't got chefs, for example, but, you know, if someone was sat thinking, you know, on the fence thinking, do I contact Perfect Recruitment or any of the other organisations across the UK, what would your past clients say to them, or your current clients say to them, to get them over the fence into, you know, into contacting you?
I suppose a lot of our clients speak for themselves because they've used us repeatedly over the years, and we build relationships. We're not really in for a one-hit wonder. We want to build relationships over the years, and not all people can afford to utilise an agency, but we can still help and direct you in various different areas. Now, we don't charge up front. We only charge when that person is in the job and working. And if that person doesn't work out, then we try and fix that. You know, we don't keep hold of your huge placement fee because they've only been there 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4. We tend to work with you, and I've always had that ethos that, you know, you've got to work with these people, because if somebody pays you a fee and they've not got a member of staff in 6 weeks' time, realistically, you've not done the job properly.
No. And do you interview everybody as you go through your recruitment? Because I know there's so many out there, and there's lots of businesses say to me, well, which ones actually really recruit, where they understand what the job is and they go out to, or, you know, some people call it fishing, but they go out and find the person who would be the ideal superstar in my organization. And then do they interview them? Do they, you know, get to know that person before we let them through the door?
Well, we do interview, but we try to Zoom interview, which is brilliant. Or we've always either met them somewhere and had, you know, coffee with them, or brought them into the office. I've just literally, I have a new lady, Alex, that's just started with me, and I've had a conversation with her, and I said, you need to know the inside leg measurements. You need to know everything about that person, where they've gone, where they're going, why they're going, and what motivates them. And that for us is key. If you don't know that person inside and out, then you can't place them in the right place at the right time, because you don't know what's the right fit. So yeah, we interview, and by standard it's 2 references as well. And now we're also doing a lot of social media trolling as well, because some things that you find out once you've interviewed somebody, you wouldn't want to work with them anyway.
Yeah, that's a good point. And it is on both sides, you know. If you've got do you check on the clients coming through as well, making sure that they're good employers? Because you don't want, say, one of your best team members going into a place and then you potentially leaving, you know, them leaving you, do you?
Yeah, we do visit where we can, but as I say, at the moment we are filling our core positions from clients that have used us for years and years. So, you know, we've got to give them priority. Yes, there's new clients coming on, but obviously we always credit check these people. They're not serial folders, and I think there's only so much you can check, but I do like to go down. I like to look in the kitchen. I like to make sure it's a clean place. You know, what are you offering the staff? What do you do for the staff? So again,
where they're living. That's the other element. Where they're living when they're living in. Let's have a look. Would you all stay there?
And there's been some of those over the years, hasn't there, really?
Yeah, I think, and you know, we have, as an industry, we've had probably the toughest time of all, and I think it's now to actually open eyes and actually say, right, this is what we're focusing on doing now, and ensuring that we bring people on board, we train, develop them, and actually spend that time, as much as it's very difficult, but make those hard decisions to hold, say, certain services off, as much as it's very difficult to do that. I credit those businesses that do, to actually get the right team in a really good standard first, because communication is key. And if you open the doors and you've only got 2 members of the team on duty with 100 people to serve, that's not going to go down well at all.
It's not going to go down well on either side, because one,
no.
you're going to drown your staff, and 2, the people won't come back because of the experience they've had. So it's not really forward thinking if you do that, because the staff will just walk anyway, the ones that you do have.
And it's not the good team members who get really fed up. You know, I mean, we should have all great team members, but it's about managing it, and about managing it well.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so how do we get in contact with you, Lisa? Obviously, we're going to put links at the end of this interview, the Showcase Sunday, but what would be your best way of contacting you and Perfect Recruitment?
I prefer people to pick up the phone, speak to us. It's very easy to just send an email in, but we like to actually speak to people and listen to what people have to say. So our telephone number is very easy, 01257 264 264. Just pick the phone up and have a conversation with us.
Brilliant. And the one area we've not really addressed if anybody's looking to work in our amazing industry, we've said some horror stories, I guess, when I never realized 90 hours was a bad thing. I think it's a great thing. It's a great work ethic. And it stood me in good stead in my own business. But what would be the highlights? Why would somebody want to come and work in our, I mean, I know why people want to come in our industry. I think it's the best industry ever. But if somebody was watching now thinking, I've never been in hospitality, what would it do for me? What career channels, what could I find at Perfect Recruitment, to go and work, maybe temporary or maybe permanent, what would they hear from you?
Well, I suppose our temporary guys have variety of life. They can pick and choose where they want to go and how long they want to go. And at the moment we say, what do you want to be paid? We ask them, they govern the rates, not us. And I've always been a big push on that if that's what you want to be paid, we will try that for you. We're not about ripping people off, but the guys, they are now saying what they want to be paid. I would also say, we've got positions from housekeeping, kitchen portering, sales managers, loads and loads of banqueting and restaurants. But there's a lot of progression from within from a lot of these clients. We've worked with them for years and we've seen the core team progress from being waiting on staff in one member. And I was only up there a couple of weeks ago over in Burnley. And he was explaining to me that the young lady came in on a part-time working basis and now was running the front desk operation, and they'd invested in her and they'd helped her along the way. And it's a fantastic company in Burnley. And they've had loads and loads of extensions on, and they're looking for all levels of staff over there. And, it's a great place to go that you'll get progression.
I love that. And there's so many golden nuggets in the industry that do exactly the same. So I think if talking to anybody who's looking to come into the industry now and probably seeing this on social media maybe or on YouTube, that children seem to think is absolutely the best thing since sliced bread. So my children tell me anyway. Yeah. When they're looking, I think you can start at any level. What you've got to be prepared to be is committed to the focus of where you want to be. And I think if anybody's looking to come into the industry, is what is your focus? What's your goals and objectives? What do you really want to do? Because the industry can put you into the hospitality and tourism industry, can put you at, say, an entry level here, but you can quickly go up to any level depending on how determined and how your work ethic is and how much you want to learn, because there's great training programs out there now, and there's great elements of how to progress things on a really simplified version. And I think it's for everybody. It's for, I mean, I've worked with people from all industries in our industry that wanted to be a lawyer, wanted to be anything else, but they got the best enjoyment out of hospitality because it gave them the best lifestyle and friends from all over the world. That's the incredible bit. You can travel anywhere and stay in any destination once you've been in hospitality.
Absolutely. Yeah, I started as a hotel receptionist, so yeah, I've come a long way.
Yeah, and anything's possible. And I think that's the message I'd like to get out to anybody watching this now, is anything is possible in hospitality. You've got to find the right employer, the people who will look after you, but you've got to put some effort in as well, and you've got to have a very clear goals, objectives and vision. And if you haven't got that, then you can learn that on the way, but it depends what you want out of it. And I think and the beauty of hospitality is it's flexible. I know we said about split shifts earlier, but in all essence, because it's a 24/7 industry, if you were finding that you had to be home at certain times or leaving at certain times, then our industry is pretty good for being flexible in ensuring that you can actually work to those hours. without having the, you know, the tail wagging the dog, so to speak. So yeah, so it's so exciting. So they can pick up the phone as well. Anybody looking for a job can pick up the phone and contact you.
Yeah, absolutely. Whether it be temporary or permanent, we're happy to help. You know, we've got consultants waiting to interview people, and we've got vacancies that could start tomorrow. You know, weekends, odd days, school holidays. If you're in the teaching industry and you just wanted a week of housekeeping or chefing or kitchen portering, we have work for you. We've also got a booking for 80 staff in Lancaster in July, and that's 80 staff waiting on. So we are going to be looking for people to help us and support with that.
Wow, that's incredible. And do they have to be in Lancaster or?
No, I think we'll probably bring people from sort of the northwest. Oh, I lost you for a second then.
You're back.
It took so long.
Brilliant. Yeah, so across the northwest, so anybody who's wanting to get some experience, get your teeth into it, you've got a chance here, because especially with the bookings for 80 individuals who can come, you know, and help you out, and you get paid for it as well. How amazing is that?
Yeah, brilliant.
Fantastic. Would you like to add anything else, Lisa?
No, we did put our Helping Hands for Hospitality on our webpage, and that's bringing loads of businesses that have put offers together for the catering hospitality industry for reopening. So there's HR companies on there, there's champagne companies that have got discount vouchers, a gin company that's got discount vouchers. So it's on our website, and as I say, we brought in loads of different businesses to try and help for the reopening and give a bit of a push with a little bit of a discount or a discount code. That's
amazing. That's brilliant. Fantastic. So anybody who's looking for helping hands at the moment, go over to Perfect Recruitment, their website, and go and see what you can get. Discounts, codes, the lot. That's brilliant. Fantastic. Thank you very much, Lisa.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and we look forward to seeing the staffing crisis become a thing of the past.
Let's hope so.
Thank you. Happy Sunday, everybody. Thank you.